The first one of your observations on surviving the recession was you advised agencies to get into the real world. Could you just explain what you mean by that?
Yeah, but well, this ultimately we're in a business, and the key of running a successful business is to be able to generate a profit. The problem with our industry is that it's always been hellishly difficult to predict income. I mean, if you're lucky enough to have clients on fees, that gives you some degree of forward knowledge. But as the industries move more towards project-based business, a lot of companies, I think, are still being wildly optimistic about future incomes. I hear people talking about 2009 being the same as 2008, and or maybe 10% less. But the truth of the matter is we don't know what the future beholds us, so it's incumbent on us to keep a handle on those numbers. The difference between what is real and what is to be generated, or what is euphemistically called new business, cannot be ignored. The business cost base has to be based on reality, and in this time that means that reality is changing every day. I mean, we're now getting phone calls from clients which we all dread. We dread that the budget's being cut. Now we're getting phone calls from clients saying, I've just lost my job. The job that I've been employed to do, be that rebranding, whatever it is, it's gone. And of course, with it has gone the agency's income. So we've got to be lean, we've got to be fit, and we've got to be realistic about matching our outgoings with our ingoings. So in the bigger companies, there's usually somebody, a finance director, who's literally at your door every day saying, is this real? Is this a campaign going to happen? So just keep on the numbers. Don't shut your eyes to the real world.
When you were at McCann's, you obviously faced some tough times during the previous recession. How did you kind of manage budgeting at that time?
Yeah, McCann's, one of the, and I guess we didn't know this at the time, but the difference from moving from Royd's, which was kind of an independent agency in its early days, to becoming part of a global empire like Interpublic, was we began to understand the rigours of the financial process. That every year, for instance, in October, we would do a forecast for the following year. Now, we would obviously forecast pessimistically, and they would push us to be optimistic, but we'd reach a compromise, and that, if you like, that was our budget, and to a degree that was our contract. The contract between our agency in Manchester and New York was a delivery of the budget. In other words, we could do what we wanted really, as long as we delivered the numbers. Now, that's a very strong discipline, and that meant that every year in round about October we would have a really rigorous look at where we were and what had happened, and how many people are, where the opportunities lay, where we needed to strengthen business. But we always went into the new year probably under-resourced. And the good thing about being under-resourced is agencies only make real money when they don't have enough people to handle the business. Ironic but true, because agency people are brilliant at somehow or other managing to deliver. So the McCann discipline was really sort of underpinned everything we did. So I've lost my thread now.
Do you think is there a difference in the way a large company like McCann's does budgets and the way a small kind of 10-man agency would do their budgets, or is the fundamentals still the same?
Well, in reality, there should be no difference at all. Because ultimately it's a business. It's about cash, isn't it? And you can't spend what you don't have. And if you're staffed up too much and the work doesn't come in, well, the answer is that you're going to be in trouble. Your overdraft is going to run out or whatever. And not a lot of people have actually got a safety, a buffer. I would commend independent companies to have at least enough in the bank to see them through 6 months of poor trading. Maybe a year would be ideal. But I mean, in the real world, how many people have cash in the bank? In the real world, in our industry, I think a lot of us are relying on our overdrafts, and that, as we know, is not a healthy place to be in this credit crunch.
So to round out this first podcast, what words of advice would you have on getting into the real world?
Just be realistic, and if you've got too many people, if you've got things that you don't think are going to happen, be realistic about it, do something about it. You literally only get one chance. I mean, the businesses fold very quickly, you know. If they run out of cash, you cannot trade, and so be realistic. I mean, don't let all that hard work and effort that you put into building the business, you know, maybe we're going to have to downsize.